RadNet, a stronger and more connected community. It's a vision for a better future.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This was a little impromptu. It wasn't really planned except for 5 minutes ago. But I decided to do this. I was sitting there stirring. I'm like, do I do it tomorrow? Do I not do it? I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to do it right now. I just got done watching the brand new Salem's Lot. Technically like a new adaptation. I guess you could say a remake. It's had a remake-esque before with Rob Lowe many years ago. And Salem's Lot is obviously an adaptation of a Stephen King book, and that debuted in the 70s on television here in the States in 2 parts. I know the UK had a movie. But Salem's Lot's an interesting one because honestly, like, the original Salem's Lot is one of my all-time favorite horror movies, and I've said this many times on the channel. There's something about that movie that just really vibes with me. The tone, the setting, the characters, the story, the main villain of Barlow. I mean, everything about the original Salem's Lot just works for me. And I've heard people in the past actually say that they found it boring. And I never found Salem's Lot boring. It's long, but to me, it's like a comforting long. Like, there's a really nice story. It's got a great setting, a great vibe, like I said. So then like the remake with Rob Lowe came out. It got pretty bad reviews. I actually didn't find it terrible. I thought it was okay. But obviously it didn't touch the original. Then it had a sequel that was a little bit more off the walls, which I do like the sequel as well. But this one that just debuted today on Max has had a lot of problems. It was actually done 2 years ago and ready to come out in theaters, and it just had a lot of issues. It was pulled back for multiple reasons, and it was trying to find a new home. And I guess Warner Brothers, I think, who owns this, said that, Max, they needed big content for Max, and they decided to end up putting it here. But I want to talk about that. Now, do I think it was put here because it was terrible? Do I think it was put here because of the need? I'll talk about all that. I'll give you my spoiler-free thoughts on this movie, and being a huge Salem's Lot fan, what I kind of took away from this, and do I recommend it to you guys? But before I do that, I will just go through the chat, see who was in the house. Again, like I said, I spur of the moment. I don't expect a ton of people in here just due to that. And maybe people don't want to hear anything about it because it literally just came out today and people probably haven't even looked at it yet, let alone, want to come and hear me talk about it. But if you are here, thank you so much. I will see what's going on here in the chat. My man Eli, what's going on? Punisher Batman fan in the house. What's up, man? Yo, what's up, dude? What it do, Rad? It's checking in. Hey, man, thank you so much. For popping in. I appreciate that. Yo, Jim Powers, what's going on? Jim Powers is in the house. Joe Reese, I like the Salem's Lot remake, he said already. Gus, what's up, man? So again, let's bring it back to Salem's Lot. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I've got posters, shirts, bunch of stuff from this movie, all physical media, DVDs. I even have this really cool sealed VHS tape that I showcased on a video once before, double tape. This is the Salem's Lot miniseries here, full length. I did get this real cool edition. It was my first and only edition from Cinemuseum for Salem's Lot. It's the collection. So again, I did a full review on this. If you want to see this in more of its glory, go check that out on my channel. I did a full review on that. Again, I'm just showcasing my love for this movie. And then you saw this thing being held up, which is a replica of the hospital scene in the movie. And it's actually signed here by the original Mark, who's actually passed away. So I was lucky enough to meet him. And I also have this cool piece. Check this out. How sick is that? Boom. This thing hangs proudly in my house here. So very, very cool. Salem's Lot piece there signed up. But yeah, big fan. Oh yeah, I do have the Waxwork Records soundtrack. Yes, so they probably will reissue it. I know they're doing that a lot lately. Um, let me see. Horror Fanatic, I see you in here. Actually, let's see what he says. What's up, man? I honestly really enjoyed it, but being a huge fan of Barlow's look in the original, I honestly disappointed in his look in the remake, but the overall liked it. So some people in here right now, the ones that are voicing their opinions that have seen it, are giving a little more positive and negative reviews. I wasn't sure what to think of this. You know, a part of me was super excited about this. This is probably one of the horror movies I was most excited for since it was announced 2 years ago, because like I said, being a huge fan, I was interested. I was interested to see what they did with this story. I think Salem's Lot is still criminally underrated as a movie that many people talk about. Now, I think the people that know about it love it, but I don't think enough people praise how great this original movie is. So obviously I was excited to see what they were going to do here with the new one, you know, being a little more big budget. I was just really curious. Were they going to kind of stick to the original tone? Were they going to try to change a lot of things up? But I do know this, that the director had mentioned when he was about to do this movie is he's like, you know what? Vampires need to be scary again. You know, things like Twilight and all that other stuff. Like, we need to change things up and bring the scary vampires back. And I know that was one of his things going into it. Now, did he deliver? I would probably say kind of. I think he kind of did deliver. I think that the vampires did come off pretty cool in this one. I was a little bit nervous about overly heavy CGI. I don't feel like we got that. There was obviously some, but I mean, not like I expected. I mean, there was a lot more CGI in the Rob Lowe remake, to be honest, than this one. But I generally will say I like this. As a whole, I liked it. There is a lot of issues with it. But I think it was fun enough. But to me, it felt very compact. You know, like I said before, Salem's Lot is a long movie. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters, a lot of different stories to get us from point A to point B to point C. Sometimes it even feels like two movies. You know, it was split in two parts on television back in the day. This one, they tried to cram in under 2 hours. Now, I never say this, but after watching this movie, I said, man, I would have loved another hour of this. And that's very rare for me to say. And I only say that is because I know a little bit more of the source material, I guess you would say. Now, there were concerns about Barlow. What was he going to look like? Because in the Rob Lowe remake, he didn't look like he did in the movie from the 70s, right? So what avenue were they going to take with this? But I will say that Barlow looked more like the 70s Barlow than he did the 2009 Barlow. It wasn't as effective as this. I still think Barlow from the original is one of the scariest vampires of all time. And I'll go on record to say that. I don't know many other vampires that are freakier than Barlow. I mean, you could even say Nosferatu, which I think he was heavily based off of as far as his look. I know the book and what we got in the miniseries with by Toby Hooper is also different. But I think that just really works, and it's a very memorable character. Now, they tried to take a similar look here. I think it worked to an extent, but I don't think it was as menacing as the original one was. And there's more I want to say about this character, but I don't want to give things away. There was some things that they did with this character that I wasn't happy with, but at the same time, I would have rather had him look similar to what I'm used to from the 70s than try to do something completely different. Now, as far as the cast, I mean, you had a lot of the same characters here. Some of them I felt were pretty strong. Some were not. I mean, I feel like the main character here who played Ben Mears, I don't think he was that strong. Like, Ben Mears in the first one just felt like he was the base of the story. Mark was second. And they followed Ben Mears around. I mean, you got to learn more about him. He was kind of trying to uncover things. Now, the story behind Salem's Lot is Ben Mears is like an author. He comes to Salem's Lot to get invigorated. That was where he grew up. He wanted to get inspired to write his next book. And same story here. He comes back to town, but he just, I don't know, this character and the dude who played him here, I just don't think it was as good as his character in the original. think his character in the original was a lot stronger of a character. This one, he didn't do much, in my opinion. Not as much as you would have expected being one of the leads. I also think the guy who played Stryker was not that good in this either. I didn't really care for him that much. I didn't really care for his look. Um, I didn't care for that. But they did take a lot of the elements from the original, but the problem I think that I had mostly was that it was very rushed. Like they tried to get everything in under 2 hours, and the movie just felt too fast paced for what I wanted. But I will say that the movie itself, like, was entertaining. It really was an entertaining movie. And I think that it was scary when it needed to be. I still think that the scene with, the Glick boy clicking on the window, Mark, I still think that was super effective. I still think they did a great job with that in this day and age. It really still worked. So that was cool to see. The vampires were creepy looking vampires. They had a great look. So they did that right. A lot better look than a lot of vampires that we see nowadays. But overall, I think it was a fun time. It was a good time. You can't compare it to the original. You can't. Because like I said, there's so much missing from this new one because these characters that they built throughout the original one didn't exist here because they were trying to cram the story of Ben and Mark and Barlow and Stryker. Like they were trying to get that story in such a small window that I feel like we were just moving from like 1 to 2 to 3 and just kind of zooming through the story. And I think that's where it hurt it for me. Now, would that hurt it for an average horror fan? Probably not, because if they're not familiar with the original one, they might not care because they don't know. But I do think what they did it pretty good. I don't think this movie went to Max because it sucked. Because I think that this movie, you could easily battle it with any horror movie that hits the theaters now. Maybe not something like Terrifier because that just is at a whole new level. But the majority of the horror movies we get nowadays, anything from Blumhouse, this could easily rival those with a modern horror movie. So it wasn't one of those things that you're like, oh my God, this was exceptionally bad and that's why it went to Max. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that they must have just not thought that there was enough steam behind the name Salem's Lot for people to come out and see it based on how some of these Blumhouse movies perform, aside from the big name ones. I don't know what the decision was. They claim the decision was made to go to Max to strengthen Max. I mean, I paid $9.99 today to watch it. So I don't have Max, but I paid the $9.99 to check this out today. So again, I'll probably cancel my subscription this month. I don't need Max, but I wanted to see this movie ASAP. I've been wanting to see this movie for 2 years. Was I disappointed? No. I actually think I liked it better than I was expecting. I didn't think this was going to be a good movie. I was waiting for a complete disaster. I thought it was fine enough. I thought it was a modern telling of Salem's Lot with a lot less detail. And I do think the average horror fan would probably dig it. I think it's kind of what they like. Like I said, I'm not a fast-paced horror guy. So that's why something like Terrifier is good, but I'm not all about it. I'm not all in on it. Like, it's fine. It's fun. It's good. It's gory. It's different. But I'm more of like, tell me a good story and let me kind of work it from there. I don't need all the gore. Case in point, I think Flanagan's, what the heck's the one he did with the church? Oh my God. I think that was probably the closest thing to like a real cool Salem's Lot-esque type of movie that I've seen in a long time. Midnight Mass. I think that to me is probably one of the best things in horror I've seen in a really long time. And if you haven't checked out Midnight Mass and you dig a nice slow burn original story, I really recommend checking that out on Netflix if it's still there. But again, that was my quick overview of the new Salem's Lot on Max right now. Do I recommend you guys checking this out? Yeah, I recommend checking this out, or just wait for it to come on physical. If this hits physical, I'm going to buy it. I would like to go back and watch it again. Maybe I'll watch it again before I cancel my Max membership. But for what it was, I think it's fine. I'm not going to compare it to the original because there's no reason to. We never thought it would do better than that. To me, the original is a masterpiece, one of my all-time favorite horror movies. But I think it's nice to see the Salem's Lot get more love, even if it's utilizing something like a remake to kind of push the name along, and for other people to maybe go back and check out the original one, because I do think that a lot of people need to go back and check it out, because either they stopped watching it right away because it was it dragged for them, but or they've never seen it. So whatever it takes to get Salem's Lot a little bit more love, I'm cool with. And like I said, to me, this wasn't a disaster at all. At all. I think this was fine for a modern horror movie. Salem's Lot has a great story, and I think they did okay. So I will I'll go back to the chat and I will talk to you guys, see what you guys have to say. If anybody has seen it, let me know what you think of it. And I'm way behind, so I will go check out who is in the house right now. All right, let's see. Eli, he pre-ordered that $80 Rumpelstiltskin. You're welcome, man. I actually got the heads up last night at like 2 a.m. that they dropped it, so I bought it like right away. I didn't get the $80 set. I got the $45 set. I'm just at a point now where I can't keep spending over $60 for these movies anymore. The stuff that I was going to get with the $80 set, like I'll never wear the t-shirts. That wasn't going to do it for me. Extra slip covers, don't need those. You know, I think there was one thing, maybe like a script or something that like maybe would have been pretty cool, but I got the $45 set, and then I ended up getting the VHS tape as well. So I did snag that last night. I'm excited for that. I think that's a great release for them. I think that's going to really turn some heads on TerraVision, because again, for me personally, I bought the first year of TerraVision. I was all in. I was all in on it. I saw a lot of movies that I had on DVD, or you know, ones that I had on VHS that never went to DVD. So I was stoked on it. And then recently I started kind of getting out of it. Like I really wasn't happy with a lot of the releases. Like to me, I thought it was like, oh, this is getting worse than Vinegar Syndrome stuff now. Like I love Vinegar Syndrome, but like a lower tier of some of the stuff they're getting. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what my deal is with TerraVision anymore. I'm not really collecting their stuff that much. And recently they've kind of brought me back. Like they had the Frogman, which I did really like. They put out WNUF2, which is cool to see. And obviously with Rumpelstiltskin, I mean, that's a grail piece for a lot of collectors, because it was a DVD that went out of print a long, long time ago. I'm not going to go out and say Rumpelstiltskin is a friggin' masterpiece of a movie, but I like horror like that. I like the cheesy, you know, B horror from like the 80s and 90s. So to me, I was all about it. There's a lot of people out there that are seeing the hype that are probably going to buy this thing and they'll be like, this thing sucks. Like, but that's what it is. So it's hard for me to recommend something like Rumpelstiltskin. If someone said to me, is Salem's Lot worth it, like the original, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, it is. When people come to me, and I've had a lot of messages today being like, is Rumpelstiltskin worth it? My answer is kind of, it depends. It depends on your taste, you know? But yeah, I ended up snagging it, of course, too. Am I going to cover it? I don't know. Maybe if I've got so much stuff I'm working on now that if I have time, it will be on a live stream for sure. If I do a live show and I don't really have anything I want to chat about, maybe I'll do it. You know, I'm not really doing a lot of Scream Factory stuff right now. So that's why I haven't really covered their stuff in a while. I've kind of like got what I want. I'm not upgrading a lot of their stuff. I am going to get Hush. That's like the big one I'm really interested in. Faculty. But I don't think I'll get Silent Night, Deadly Night, unless there's something on there that is new that I don't have or something. But I'll probably pass on it. I've been passing on a lot of their upgrades lately. B-Maga, yeah, go check it out, man. It's interesting. I'm actually kind of happy, because I would assume everybody would just shit on it like always. Like this is my point. No, I wasn't a huge piece of shit. No. Not at all. I think it was way better than I was expecting it to be. The Night Flyer vamp was really cool. Really cool. I mean, that would be great. If this movie is technically a lot longer than what we got and there's a lot more story, I think that was missing. And, you know, nowadays and being on Max, it's like, why not just make a make it 3 hours? I mean, I know it was already filmed, but there was a lot of stuff from the original one that I wish carried over that didn't even have to do with the main characters, had to do with a lot of side characters that I would have liked to see play out. What up, Dave? He says, I really enjoyed the movie. The pacing was better than the original. No, see, that's the, well, again, everybody's different. My kind of horror, this was way too fast. But people that didn't like the original because they found it too slow, this might work better for them. But again, Salem's Lot is such a good story that I hope that one of them works for people. Oh, what's up, Mike? Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give him a little super chat thing. Let's see what I can do for him. How was this one?
Holy shit.
Thank you, my man. Let's see. Let me see. I lost my place. What up, Ryan? 10K, baby. I told you 10K was the goal for the year, and we are very much on pace for that. So if anybody's checking this out that's not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you find out you don't like me, you don't like the content, unsubscribe if you want to. But anybody in here who's been here since day one, thank you guys so much. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately. This month has been crazy. So if anybody's checking this out on the replay or live that's a new subscriber, please write in the comment section you're new. Thank you so much for checking out the stuff. I really appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully I can keep you all entertained. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. I've got a video coming talking about 13 overlooked horror movies that you need to add to your October watch list. We're working on something about The Hitcher, the history of The Hitcher. I've got top 10 werewolf movies of all time. You know, obviously you got the regular reviews and stuff like that. We just did an unboxing and showcase of this brand new Late Night with the Devil set. We did that last night. So if you haven't checked that out, you can go check it out. You know, I might do some Terrifier stuff if I can see it next week. I will be gone. I will be away for a week coming up. I'll be at where am I going to be? Oh, I'm going to be at Universal Horror Nights. So hopefully maybe I can get some footage there and come back with it. Yeah, Midnight Mass, man. So good, so good. Yeah, I mean, again, you could definitely tell. You know what's funny, man? I haven't seen Castle Rock at all. So that's good you're saying. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Slash like button, sub to the channel. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you for always being here. Yeah, so I had the original Stilt Skin on DVD. I sold it about 8 years ago for $100. Thinking like this has got to be coming out soon, especially with Vinegar Syndrome. Like I thought for sure. And sure enough, it took 8 years to come back out. I did the same thing with Dead Alive. I sold the Blu-ray thinking that Scream Factory was going to put that thing out. But that's cool. You have both of them, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't buy the Texas Chainsaw set. No. I may in the future, but not unless I can get it for half of what they want. Oh my God, I would love that. I would love that. What up, Perry? What up, Horror Man Joe? What's up, dude? Go find Horror Man Joe over there on the socials. What's up, Anthony? How are you, man? Go check out Anthony's Horror and More over on the Tube Ski. Evil Ash said it wasn't too bad. Atmospheric, cool set pieces. Some of the script was a little cheesy, but I enjoyed it. Kind of reminded me of Demon Knight for some reason, except I guess you could say it kind of had a little Demon Knight-esque to it. But again, it seems like most people are coming in and saying that they dug it, which I'm happy about because everybody was really scared about this and, you know, already were shitting on it before it even came out, thinking that it must be garbage because it went directly to Max. And, you know, they never said that. They said it. They wanted to put it at Max to give Max a little boost. but maybe they just didn't think it would do well enough in theaters. And it's not that it's because it's shitty, but because maybe that name just doesn't have enough hype, like a Scream or a Halloween or something like that. I don't know what it is. I mean, movies nowadays, like Beetlejuice killed it, but that's a big name. Like, that's a real big name. And maybe they didn't think it was as original as things like Longlegs and, you know, all that stuff. So maybe it kind of fell in the middle of that. I'm not really sure exactly why they decided to do that, but they say it's to help Max. So we will see. Hey, thanks so much. Missed you too. Thanks for coming back. Oh, dude, I appreciate that, man. Spread the word about the Rad channel, guys. I'm only gonna hit my goal if people talk, right? So if you guys have social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, share some videos, share the links, get people over here to check it out. If they like it, they'll stay. If they don't, they'll leave. But you know, any kind of hype I can get from you guys will help because we are on a really cool streak right now to hit that 10K. Let's do it way before the year's up. And then if we do, beginning of next year, I'll do a huge super show. I've never seen Castle Rock at all. So you guys are making me want to see it. Wow. Really? I'm going to buy Castle Rock and check it out. Thanks, man. You know what's funny is not a lot of people watched that interview. That's actually, sadly, it's like, I was so excited for that. I love Matt. And his book is fantastic, but it just is like, you know, a lot of people that watch my content maybe just don't care about posters. You know, they like the discs, not the posters, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people checked that one out, which I think they should. It was a friggin' great time. It was a great talk. So that's really cool. And make sure I'm going to throw a banner up really quick. Make sure you guys sub over to the Radpack channel because we've got some cool stuff working on over there. We got a couple cool interviews coming up that you guys I think are going to really, really dig. So definitely sub over there if you haven't. Yeah, man, it's sad. I was lucky enough to meet Lance before he died, like a year before he died, actually. Joe Reese, you have. Thank you so much. Thank you. So see, Rizzy didn't like Salem's Lot. So you're the only person in this chat right now who hasn't liked it so far. If I had to give it a rating 2 out of 5, I would probably say 3 out of 5. I would say. Yep. Yeah, I'm all set up on that, which is cool. They need to do something because, you know, paying all that money for those releases, they don't do it. In my opinion, they just don't do enough to justify their pricing. Yeah, I'm curious to know more about this, the whole thing with this, the reshoots, if there was problems with it, what they cut. Like, I'm hoping this gets a physical media release, and I'd love to hear those stories. I haven't dug deep to find out if anybody's had interviews talking about this. Maybe that's something I could look into because, you know, I'm curious to see what was all the hiccups here. You know, Stephen King said he liked it a lot, but I don't know. I only take his opinion with a grain of salt because, you know, if he's got money involved, he might be like, yeah, go see it. It's awesome. You know, I don't know. What up, Noise? Thanks, man. I don't know. Could be. I mean, I would love a new Creep Show as well, but I mean, there's a show. I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't really watched it, so maybe that's the next best thing. Let's, you know, so Dead Pit ends in red. Dead Pit had their Tales from the Crypt show tonight, didn't they? That looked like a fun show. Let me see. Texas Chainsaw, is it screening near me? I don't know. I haven't really checked it. I was looking today to find out if I can get to a Terrifier 3 showing, and then I'm away. So if I don't catch it when it comes out, I'm not going to be able to catch it for a while. But I don't know. I don't know if Texas Chainsaw is screening. I can check it out. Through the Tomb. What's going on, man? I like the name. 300 for Texas. Yeah. And I actually got confirmation yesterday. If you guys watched, I did a stream last night unboxing the Late Night with the Devil, and Christian from over at Planet CHH was on it, and he bought the $300 set, and he regrets it. And for him to come out and actually say that, basically say he screwed up, and he said the chainsaw is very underwhelming. Like when I saw the chainsaw, I was like, ooh, it's like a small chainsaw. $300 for like a mini chainsaw. But the VHS tape was winning me over. You know, I really like that artwork on there. I love having VHS tapes hanging around in the collection and stuff. I mean, not $300 worth, but and I love Texas Chainsaw, and I love to have all these cool editions like Black Maria and the you know the ground beef edition, all that other shit. So I wouldn't mind having it, but he said even still, he goes, the chainsaw, the quality is very poor. Like it's like a light plastic. You know, it's not even like a good quality saw. And yeah, so he regrets it. He regrets spending the money on it. And it's sad too. And again, I give any company credit that go outside the box and do something cool and different. I do. I think that's cool. I mean, I've been a collector for so long. Like I always say this when it comes to these companies, and people ask me all the time, like, oh my God, why aren't you upgrading this? Why aren't you upgrading that? I'm at a point now, I've got so much cool shit that when it comes to all these releases, there's just so much. I'm like, win me over. Like if a company can win me over, and it doesn't have to always be with packaging, it could be with features, it could be with a lot of things. But if they know how to win me over, you know, I'm all in. And they did a good job. Like it kind of won me over with the VHS and being inside the chainsaw, but the price didn't. And that's, I think, the problem. And that's where I'm really trying to kind of put my foot down and be like, listen, like I'll buy some cool shit, but there's going to be a limit, right? Like that Texas Chainsaw set probably should have been $120 tops. And for 300, I think that's pushing it. And I think that if we buy these things, that these companies are going to think it's okay and continue to upcharge these movies into the $100 to $200 ranges. And I think that it's a very slippery slope if we keep spending that kind of money and they start opening their eyes and be like, oh, they'll pay it. Even though we're going to get some pretty cool stuff, I just can't justify spending that much money on a single movie. You know, $300 if it was like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street all in 4K and a cool box and all this stuff, $300. I would budge on that. Not for a single movie, I wouldn't. So, you know, that's my biggest thing is I just don't want these companies to just think, okay, now let's keep charging more, because I think these editions are expensive as it is. And I will give TerraVision a lot of credit. That Rumpelstiltskin set was priced very well. $45, and you get a lot of little perks in there for that standard edition. You know, and then you get a shirt and another slip and all this other stuff, and you pay $80. But still, like $45 is a normal price for companies, not a bundle, right? So I think they priced that really well. So I will give them props for that. All right, so here's Beyond the Grave. Dude, this thing's kind of messy. Salems Lot was the second VHS I bought at 10 years old, and then I'm with favorite. The 79 is a 10. The missing its heart. So that's kind of what I said. Again, what are we getting? We're getting a 2024 horror movie called Salem's Lot with a similar story. That's what we're getting. There's not many movies nowadays that come out that has a nice long drawn story. I will give credit to people like Ty West. He knows how to do that really well, and I appreciate that. And that's why I love a lot of his movies. But more or less, we're getting quick, let's get to the action and move on. Luckily, Salem's Lot has a good story, so it was still interesting to me. I think the vampires looked good. I had some issues with some of the characters in the movie. They just weren't as strong as the characters in the original. Could you say the word messy? Sure, I guess you could. But I would still probably give this a 3 out of 5. It was enjoyable. It was better than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a complete disaster. And I've seen plenty of horror movies that have come out in the last 10 years in theaters that this is on par or better than. So I will say that. You should do a poster collection video. Is that what it was? No, Matt Ryan Tobin is an artist who does movie posters that are called screen prints. So basically these artists, you've probably seen them online. They're the people that are designing things like slipcover art. They are the people that are you're seeing their artwork on all these editions, all these different artworks. Those are the artists behind all that stuff. Anything that's not original one sheet artwork, these are the people doing this alternative artwork and stuff. And Matt Ryan Tobin's one of the bigger players in the game right now, doing posters, and you'll see his artwork on steel books and slip covers and stuff. And him and I have become close over the last couple of years. And he came on because he just put out a new book, and the book is basically going through his career. Each page is a different poster that he did, and you can look at all of his stuff, and he tells you like what inspired him to do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of these artists' works sell out really quickly. It's another hobby that's very expensive, and there's a lot of limited stuff and whatnot. So that's what we talked about. We talked about his career, things that inspired him, and it was just a fun conversation between us and going over his book and whatnot. I have done a movie poster collection video, not on like my posters, but I bought a lot and I showcased them. It was a fun stream. I know Wes and I and Uncle Bill did a poster show together, and I would love to do more. It's just, they're hard to kind of showcase because they're either folded or rolled or whatever. It's hard to do that. And I don't know how many people are interested. If it shows, like I said on that Tobin video, you can find it under my live tab. Check it out. But, not a lot of people watched that one. So maybe it was the topic. Maybe it was like we went live at like 8 p.m., which is very rare for me too. What up, man? Yeah, doesn't seem like a lot of Freddy stuff right now. You're right. I'm going to try to find this Late Night with the Devil one sheet. Oh, they're showing it. That's cool, man. Screen Factory, what's up? Go follow Dead Pit Radio, my boys over there. Screen Factory wanted to reward people if they drop the price of their shit and release something new. Yeah, I just don't think that they have any ideas. Like, that's the problem. And Christian texted me today and said something about Sleepaway Camp and Screen Factory on 4K. Is this real? I haven't really. You'd figure people would be running all over that. Yeah, his word is not really, doesn't really mean much nowadays. I will get the Faculty, 100%. I will. Ben said he gave it about 3 out of 5. Yeah, that set was $300. So yeah. Jackson Jack, we did one. So search back and check out under the live tab. We did one probably a year ago. For sure. Yeah, I talked about this. I already bought one. No, the price is cheap. You can get one. So you're saying spend about $375 to get to do that. But the problem is does the second sight one fit inside that chainsaw? Because there's little slots for the things to fit in. So if it's too big, it ain't fitting in there. I agree, Chainsaw. I agree, Jackson. I said the same thing last night, and I've been saying the same thing every time people bring it up. I said, if you guys remember, if you were around for the Black Maria set, that was an expensive set because I didn't buy it right away. I'm like, oh, I have so many Texas Chainsaws. I'm not going to rebuy this, even though it's in this cool truck. But guess what? That thing was like half off in 6 months. And Black Friday's coming up, guys, and you bet that if those things aren't selling, Dark Sky's going to discount those. Yeah, you don't need a plastic chainsaw and a mini plastic chainsaw for that matter. But like I said, I'm not saying I won't get it because I'm such a mark for Texas Chainsaw stuff. I will get it if I can get it for half off or less. I mean, or more, half or more. Like, I'm not going to spend more than $150 on that thing. There's no way. Yeah, and that's the same thing too. Like that Friday the 13th, like that didn't sell the way that the Halloween one did, unless they just made way more of them because the Halloween one sold out so fast. But yeah, that thing is, a lot of people bought multiples of those thinking that they were going to have gold on their hands, but those things are still out there and they're markdowns cheap now. Does it really? That is so funny. I watched the Menendez documentary thing. I thought it was fantastic. I have it right here. Do I? Where is it? Oh no, I put it on the shelf. It's not a steel book. It's a blood collection. It's not a steel, but it's got the blood package. Let me see. Sorry guys, I'm just scrolling. Let me see. 45 being too high. No, I mean not nowadays. It's a 4K. I mean, tell me what other 4K is going to be a lot less than that. Do I think they should have had a standard edition? Yeah, probably. I mean, not everybody wants to buy a bundle. I get it. A lot of people don't care about that stuff. There should have been, and I honestly didn't know that there wasn't another option because I saw the 45 bundle and I was like, 45 for all this? Hell yeah, let's go. So I didn't even check to see if there was just a standalone edition. I'm guessing there wasn't, but I do think there probably should have been that option because a lot of people don't want all that stuff. What's up, Jamie? What did I do today? I can tell you right now. What day is today? Thursday. I worked all day. Got home. What time did I get home? Got home about 8:30. Cooked dinner. Ate and watched Salem's Lot, and now I am here. Do I work out every morning? No, I work out 4 days a week usually, and it usually is Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. That's usually my workout days now. What up, Steve? Thanks for being here, dude. No. As I'm getting older, I have a little more problem burning it off, but the thing is with me is I work on my feet all day, so that helps. If I was sitting at a desk all day, it would be a bigger problem. But I don't avoid carbs. No, I mean, I try to avoid some carbs, but I don't avoid carbs. You know, like, I mean, it depends on what that means. Like, I don't eat a lot of sweets and stuff. So, like, I'm not eating, like, carbs as in, you know, donuts and brownies and shit like that. But I'll eat rice and potatoes and all that stuff. Yeah, people interested in the post. I'm sure it will. I will. Yeah, I am. That's my job. I'm a professional fitness trainer, both online and in person. So yes, that is my full-time job. I 100% agree. The Tobin poster for Lost Boys, he did two, and they're both some of my favorite stuff. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Jackson said he needs some of the Scream to drop in price. Yeah, they probably should. What's up, man? I'm plowing through all the Nightmare movies. Elm Street? What are you trying to say? You haven't seen them? Well, you haven't seen them in a while. Elm Street is one of those series that I've actually grown to love a lot more now than I did. I wasn't the biggest Elm Street guy growing up. I liked specific ones, but I thought they got really too silly for my taste. But now going back and watching them again, I actually can kind of appreciate them a lot more than I did. But yeah, if that's what you're talking about. That's so funny. I just did a video and I talk about Strangeland. It hasn't dropped yet, but that's interesting. How many do I need? I don't need any more, but it's always cool to have those kind of unique sets. Let me see. CK dropped a slight scoop about Nightmare on Elm Street getting a killer box set as a rumor. You didn't hear it from me. Well, I think everybody just heard it from you. If I haven't heard anything about it, so I mean, it could be possible. He probably has a lot more connections than I do, but I haven't heard anything. What's my biggest regretful purchase in physical media? It's a good question, man. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. What up, Wilkie? It's so funny because I pre-ordered Frogman when it first came out, and now it's like everybody's got it except me. So I don't know what's going on. What up, Ryan? Thanks for being here. I was a professional wrestler for a short time. Yes, that is true. That is true. Ryan's chilling like a villain eating a Twix. Twix, dude, that's 80s. I love it. 90s Twix. Remember when Twix was like, you had the peanut butter ones? I think it was like an orange, and then the caramel were like red. And then when I was getting older, and they started doing a lot more flavors of those. I don't know what's out anymore. I haven't had a Twix in 25 years. Did you see Monitor of Nightmare on Elm Street score on vinyl, limited colorway sold immediately? I did not, but I mean, I own all that already because these are all reissues, so I never look at this thing. The Radpack, no way. I like that. I like that. You don't really have those shitty. No, because again, me buying all the Scream Factory stuff before is why I'm not buying it now. So I'd be paying more now than I did back then. Hara Orman, thanks for being here. What's going on? I'm intrigued by Flanagan's Exorcist. It depends on what you mean by that. In a ring? No. Let me see. I did. What's up, man? Darth Maylock, how are you? Yeah, I got that today, actually. I got that email today saying that they shipped my replacement disc. Yes, I got that today. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's always cool chatting with you. I didn't want to stay on long. I wanted to just do this about the Salem's Lot remake. I want to just get it done early, then I don't have to talk about it anymore, and then I can come up with better stuff to talk to you guys about. But I just watched it, and I wanted to give my thoughts because I am such a huge Salem's Lot fan, and I was super excited for this movie, and I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't blown away either. So it's kind of like I watched it, I didn't hate it, and I guess we just move on now. But always cool to get some more Salem's Lot, for people. And like I said, when it's over, if you watch it you got to watch it on Max. When it's over, it actually gives you an option to watch the original one right after. So I think that's cool if you guys want to check that out. But guys, stick on the channel, hit that like button on this video, share the video around, hit the sub, tell your friends about the channel because we are approaching 10,000 subs, and that was the goal for 2024. And I can't even believe we are here because it was a ballsy ass goal when I made it. And I remember saying to myself, I don't think I'm going to do it, but let's work at it. And I think that's exactly why we are here, because of the support with you guys. And I'm so glad you're liking the content. I try to keep it different. I try to do these lives to interact with you guys, to make you feel part of the channel. So guys, thank you for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. And like always, stay